Thanks for joining me today for Family Food. My name is Miss Olivia, and today we are going to be making up some delicious desserts. Before we get started with all of that fun though, we want to make sure our cooking space is nice and clean. We want to make sure we wash our hands, and we also want to make sure that any materials or items that we're using today, like bowls and spoons, are also clean. Fabulous. Now that that's ready, we are going to start. Our first recipe will be one of my absolute favorites. It's called dirt, which I realize sounds misleading, but it's actually awesome. It is chocolatey goodness. So we will start with any chocolate cookie that you like. I like Oreos, so I'm going to use Oreos today, but don't feel like you have to use Oreos. You can use chocolate Teddy Grahams, anything like that. So we will put our cookies in a bag, and we will get a rolling pin. And this is a great one for our young friends to do with the help of their grown-up. And we are going to crush them. Super fun, super satisfying. After your cookies are nice and crushed, you can leave them in the bag if you'd like. I'm gonna pour mine out into a bowl so that they're easier to scoop into our serving cups later on. Cookies in our bowl, looking delicious. Throw out our bag. After our cookies are ready, we are going to get another large mixing bowl, and we will take our pudding mix, pour it in the bowl. I used chocolate pudding for this one. Then we will take our measuring cup and we will pour in our milk. Looking delicious already. We will pour it in just like so. Besides crushing the cookies, this is another favorite part of mine. It's where we whisk our pudding mix together. So you'll do this for a couple minutes or so until it starts to look like pudding. So it'll get a little firmer, a little harder, a little more delicious looking. So now our cookies are ready, our pudding is ready, and we can assemble our dirt. So we'll grab a cup, or a mug, or a bowl, whatever you have on hand. This part doesn't really matter. And we'll start with our cookies. We'll put a scoop in the bottom first. Next, we will add some delicious pudding right on top. I like to have separate spoons for the separate things. Put a nice dollop in there. And we will top it off with a little bit more cookies. And we can't forget what I think is probably the most important part. What lives in the dirt? Worms, of course. So we will garnish our dirt with some gummy worms. Put a few right on top, and we are good to go. So that is dirt. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, especially if you're a chocolate fan. But if you're not a chocolate fan, don't worry, because we will now make the inverse of dirt, which is sand, which is the vanilla edition of this recipe. As you can see, making sand is very similar, if not nearly identical, to making dirt. We choose a vanilla cookie. I personally love Nilla wafers, so I went with Nilla wafers. I ground them up with my rolling pin, and they are ready for serving here. We went with a vanilla pudding this time, of the Jell-O variety. We are whisked up and ready to go. And for our garnish this time, rather than using worms, we are going to be using the tropical Swedish fish. Of course, you can use whatever garnish you want. You could put fruit on there, you could put other candies, whatever will be delicious to you. So we will take our serving cup. We will start with some cookies. We will add in some pudding. And we will once again top with our cookies. And as one final addition, we'll sprinkle on some fishies. For a true summertime treat, we have sand and dirt. Now, if you are not a pudding fan, we have one more fun recipe we're gonna go over today. It's a very familiar one, but we're gonna add a little flair to it and try to make it our own. With our dirt and sand leftovers safely in the refrigerator, we will move on to our last dessert of the day, which will be s'mores. S'mores are a delicious treat all year round. So the classic s'mores recipe involves graham crackers, chocolate bar, and piece of a chocolate bar, and marshmallows. Some people will roast their marshmallows over a campfire. I don't have a campfire in the library today or any day, so I use the microwave. Highly recommend using microwaves when making s'mores, but it's important to keep in mind that every microwave has different speeds and strengths, so make sure you have a grown-up help you when making your s'mores. I put mine in the microwave for about 8 seconds. It looks very good. I'm very excited to eat it for dessert later today. But we are here now to talk about some fun alternatives or additions to jazz up your s'mores recipe. So first, if you are a peanut butter fan, we have, excuse me, Mr. Marshmallow, please get back on top. We have our classic graham crackers with marshmallow, but we swapped out the regular chocolate for a chocolate peanut butter cup. It will cook for about the same time in the microwave though. We also swapped out our chocolate in this recipe for Nutella. It is a hazelnut spread. It is very delicious. Highly recommend checking that out. And if you don't want to try Nutella, there are many other brands that make hazelnut spreads that are also incredibly delicious. And I am a huge fan of fruit and berries especially. Strawberries and raspberries are my favorite. And I also am, of course, a huge fan of chocolate-covered strawberries. And I figured this was the next best thing. So this one is not cooked yet. So I just wanted to show you what all the ingredients were. We start with our graham crackers and our chocolate and our marshmallow, and that's when you'll microwave it. And then when it comes out of the microwave, you will add your strawberries. And our last one, pretty much the same thing, but with raspberries. You can, of course, do this with blueberries. Some people even do bananas and peanut butter to make that sort of delicious dessert. I hope you guys are able to try some of the desserts that we made today. Please send us pictures, tell us which ones you loved, tell us which ones you're excited to try, and we will see you again real soon. Thanks, bye.